Welcome to Shorty SuperCoach. How are we, guys? Hope you're doing well out there. I'm feeling good about this week. I'm feeling like a significant rise in the ranks. I haven't checked it yet. We've just been at the folks for dinner, so I'm back a little bit late. But, yeah, pretty solid weekend too. I mean, footy-wise, there was some crazy matches. Like, God, I feel for the Roos. I was in the gym listening to this one, and I was like, you just know the Pies are going to come back, and they did. And then when the Roos got back in front, I thought, come on. I don't know if I felt that disappointed for an opposition side in a while like that. That just felt rough. But and then from a social point of view, Shorty went down to Lawn last night and stayed in my car. And don't worry, I'm not homeless. Shorty's not struggling that hard just yet. But if you've been keeping up with some of my TikToks and some of my other videos, I've decked out the back of my territory with a little platform, got the mattress so I can sort of sleep in there. So yeah, just went down the caravan park, got myself a little site, and yeah, it was actually a ripper. Like, I'll put a bit of work into it with the help of Langers, and I'll put a TikTok out on Monday just with a few bits and pieces I did. But yeah, it was super relaxing. Like, I mean, that was the whole idea of it, that I could, because I often go down the coast, but then you got to come back, and it's like, oh, bugger, like, I wish I could stay and wake up next to the water and go to brekkie and that sort of thing. So it was just awesome, like, waking up, going straight down the coast, going for a walk and, you know, having a beverage or two and not being like, oh, gee, I got to drive sort of deal. Yeah, went for a kick at the footy at Lawn Footy Club. They got a pretty nice oval, actually, and just waltzed around, really. Like, I didn't do a stack. It was just, yeah, it was cool. I mean, setting up the van for the first time, or the territory for the first time. I was just watching Sydney and Adelaide just in there, down at the waterfront. Popped into this bar for a cocktail and that type of thing. And well, you guys will like this too. Like, I know I haven't been able to give you as many Tinder stories now that Shorty works at a school and that type of thing, but I thought I'd give you this one, you know. Shorty had an encounter with a human of the female variety last night, but not like that. Let's not get carried away, you know. I mean, but I'll give you a little story. So, I went for this cocktail. This place along the water does a super nice pina colada. I'm like, that's one of the destination spots. When I get down there, I'm definitely hitting that up. And walked in, and a really nice lady was serving me, lovely lady, and she was like, oh, where are you sitting? Like, I'll bring it out to you. I was like, oh, I'll just sit over there. And she was like, oh, you're just here on your own? I'm like, yeah, just came for a drive, just staying the night. She's like, oh, go into the dining room area. Like, there's not many people in there. It's much warmer. I'm like, oh, cheers, thanks. Brings it out to me, like, seems like a nice chick, whatever. Anyway, smashed the pina colada. And then as I'm leaving, they must have been just packing up. So she was out the front bringing those little signs in that they have out the front. I was like, oh, hey, how you going? You guys closing up? And she's like, yeah, we just got chatting. She's like, from Geelong. We're talking about where we work and stuff. She's like, oh, so you're from Geelong too? She's like, who do you live with? And I'm like, shit, are we like vibing? And she's like, oh, so what are you doing coming down here on your own? And I'm like, what the heck's going on here? And I was like, far out, like, did Shorty shoot his shot here? And I was like, Jesus, like, you got this lovely lady just in front of you here. Like, is she doing the old nice customer service thing? And I was like, oh, what are you doing after this? She's like, oh, I might go to the pub. I'm like, oh, yeah, I might as well too, you know. But I didn't really want to go to the pub. I just thought I'd say. And I was like, oh, look, even if you went to the pub, she may not get there. You might never bump into her. I was like, look, I thought, stuff it. Let's go for it. I said, oh, would it be too forward if I grabbed your Instagram? Like, it's been really nice chatting to you. She's like, oh, I've actually got a boyfriend. I was like, because she said she like lived with her family and stuff, like, and, you know, like, hadn't mentioned, you know, anything about that. I was down here with family. I was like, you know, we're half a chance here. But no, so, look, Maddie, if you're out there, real pleasure to have a chat to you. And don't worry, I'll still be back for another pina colada. But, look, I thought, I'm standing by it. I thought, you know what, if I didn't do that, I'd be sitting here going, geez, I wonder, why didn't you just ask, you know? So, there you have it. There you have Shorty just shooting his shot. So, I hope you guys enjoy that one. Let's have a look at my side, and I'm hoping I go up by about 2,000, 3,000 spots. I don't know if I'm being too optimistic, but that's the hope. It was a tough week. Like, there was some big variations. You know, some people just had shockers, like 1,700, 1,800. Other people still had enough players to get themselves to like a 2,100. I was just under 2,000. Okay, we rose up a touch over 1,000 spots, so that's good. I'll take that, because I remember this time last year through the buys, I was getting hammered. Like, I was having a good year, then I dropped significantly. So I'm absolutely more than happy to be sitting there. Let's have a look how the actual side went. I mean, don't you just love it? You watch Luke Ryan rack up 15 bloody marks every week. You're just wishing he'd drop in price. You bring him in finally, and he scores 79. That just pisses you off. But anyway, Nick Dacos, why on earth did they take the Phillips tag off him? Why did they sub him off? Ridiculous stuff. Sheasel was fantastic in what was a crazy game of football. And Dan Houston was the big POD. So to score 170, he's semi-popular, but not like everyone's got him. So that was huge. Of course, Stewart didn't play. And I ended up bringing Schoenmaker in instead of Kruger, which turned out to be really, really good. Not only scoring quite a few more points, but just looked fantastic. Like his role, I was more so worried about Mychek coming back a bit sooner than Dougal Howard, but on form, Schoenmaker, he might just keep his spot, so that could be really handy. Who would have thought Bontempelli could have been the VC option? I mentioned him early in the week, and then someone was like, bro, he's been sick. I was like, whoa, cross that off the line. He's touch and go to even play. But he was fantastic. That goal he kicked was outrageous. And yeah, it was a strange one because, you know, Butters and Green, it was a strange match, but not exactly the most entertaining game. But neither of them scored well. Both were fairly well held. I mean, I don't know what's going on with Green. So I'm going to have a look at his stats. He's pissing me off. So I watched the game, didn't watch the scores close because I don't really. Now, he played a pretty good game of footy, particularly in the second half. First half, he was pretty well held by Willem Drew. But I just feel like he doesn't use the footy well enough. Like 10 kicks and 20 handballs. There's a lot of time, and still 7 clangers. And I reckon some of these clangers are ones where they don't need to be a clanger. And for an inside bull, he's not tackling much. Like, is his tackle numbers down? Like, I'm expecting an average of 5, without a doubt. I mean, he's averaging 4.3, but I mean, it's not bad, but yeah, look, I don't know. I just feel as if he could be doing more, like, and normally Green would have about 50% contested, but he only had 11. Like, it's still good, but you want your disposal efficiency to be a bit better than I think it was around 60%. So there's times where he's just not, to my eye, he's just not cracking in like it's like that bull at a gate that we know he can be. So sometimes he's just skirting and almost waiting for them to get it and then tackle it. I need him to get in there. So I'm holding faith, but, well, I'm not holding faith. I'm being stubborn. I'm upgrading around him and Stewart because I feel like they still have upside, but certainly no qualms if you trade them out. Jordan Dawson, 79. What? Watching the game, I thought he played well. What the heck? Maybe I just didn't catch, like, he only had 17 touches, really? Wow. I was watching it, but also not super closely, and sometimes I'd skip through, but yeah, right. Dowling, 55, solid. Like, you take that, and then, McAuliffe, when I saw he was sub, I nearly threw my phone through the wall, but so annoying. I fucking hate the sub. Not only, look, if we just knew if a player was playing or not, you could make calls, but then they're playing and then they're sub. Not only do you get a shit score, but it ruins their cash gen. And then they just become a regular sub. And now, if he's going to make any amount of coin, I need to wait at least a month. It's does my head in. All right, we've got to wrap this up in 50 seconds. But Gawn obviously didn't play, but Grundy was fantastic. I missed on that Zorko VC, but the Grundy VC was even better. Heaney went nuts. Rankin returned with a really good score and went up quite a bit in price. Fisher nearly the match winner, but scored a 70. Jackson performed well, which we love to see. And Fraser was pretty solid. That's all we needed. Solid score. Hopefully can continue to make a little bit of coin, even though he's got the bye this week. And yeah, we'll go live on Wednesday this week, and we should be okay. Like, these guys will come back. There'll be no zeros down back. Hopefully Clark comes back, maybe McKercher. So there's a chance of only having 1-0 in there. Rux will be fine. Flanders will come back. I wonder if dual position might be able to help me out with... Nah, probably not. I'm not sure, but I think We should have 20 playing. Maybe. I'm not really sure on my trade, so we're going to have to just wait and see. But Fraser could go. Where's his break even at? Yeah, it's like he's still got some money to make, but could go. We'll just have to wait and see. But 14 out of 18 league wins is good, and I need to get some wins in the cash league. So bragging rights, we've got it. So we move into the 8. That's nice. Got a comfortable victory there. Comfortable victory there. We're into 5th. Close one there. Nice to get on the good side of a close one. We're into the top 4. So we're doing 1 point loss. Are you kidding me? Noah's done me over there. That's brutal. But we're still doing okay overall. Got done here. Cameron with a K has absolutely smacked me. And we're struggling in this league. We're 14th. Doing well in Shorty Supercoach 5. Got a relatively tight win over Jackson. Had a big win over one of the poorer sides. This is also a cash league here, so that might be really handy for percentage. Good to get that dub in Spills Premier because I need to work my way up. I really do. So comfortable victory there over Lana at the work comp. Well, it's a pretty good win by Nath there. So I'm still in the top 8, but does hurt a little bit. Only losing by a small margin and a good score. Likewise there with Jason. So that has just made it a bit tricky in Troy Supercoach 6. And then victories there. I think, did we play Lincoln twice, did we? I reckon he mentioned that throughout the stream as well. But close victory here in the Warm Ponds over Justin. It might be Aiden's brother, I think. And then, so we got on the right side of a few closer ones. So yeah, overall we're doing okay in most of our leagues. I don't know what I'm doing trade wise. So Caleb Sarong and Connor Rosie are my next targets, but neither came back and scored too great anyway. So Rosie's still probably going to have a relatively high break even. I feel like Sarong's is probably around 130 anyway, so maybe 140. I'm not sure, but I'll check that after this. So maybe I wait and hold. I desperately need Clark to be named. I think Dangerfield could be back. Maybe Guthrie. I just need him to name. And if he can avoid the sub, I'll be the happiest man because I desperately need another 60 to 80k out of him. But yeah, so whether Clayton Oliver stays or not is probably the main query for me. But anyway, we'll see how we go. I'll edit this one up because we're a little bit later than usual. But yeah, hopefully you had a good week. And hey, I'll talk to you soon, Wednesday night. Catch you then. Cheers.